We begin with new developments in the ambush shooting that targeted two members of the West Virginia National Guard, just blocks from the White House in Washington, D.C. Specialist Sarah Beckstrom, a 20-year-old soldier from Webster Springs, West Virginia, has died from her injuries. Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolfe, 24 years old, remains hospitalized in critical condition. Authorities say the two Guard members were on patrol near Farragut Square on Wednesday afternoon, when a lone gunman opened fire in what investigators describe as an ambush-style attack. The shooting took place only a short walk from the White House perimeter. Both soldiers were rushed to a Washington trauma center. Beckstrom later succumbed to what officials have called unsurvivable wounds, while Wolfe continues to fight for his life, according to statements from the White House and the West Virginia National Guard. The suspect has been identified as Rahmanullah Lakhanwal, a 29-year-old Afghan national. Investigators say he drove cross-country from his home in Bellingham, in the state of Washington, to the nation's capital, and used a .357 Smith & Wesson revolver to fire on the Guard members without warning. He was shot by a third Guard soldier at the scene and is now being treated in a Washington hospital under heavy security. Federal authorities, including the Federal Bureau of Investigation, say they are treating the case as a potential act of terrorism and believe the suspect acted alone. Lakhanwal arrived in the United States in the year 2021 under Operation Allies Welcome, a resettlement program created after the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan to assist Afghans who had worked with American forces and diplomats. Officials say he previously served in a special Afghan unit that cooperated with United States and Allied intelligence services. Earlier this year, he was granted asylum in the United States after passing multiple security and background checks and had no known criminal record in this country. According to government and independent reports, Operation Allies Welcome brought more than 76,000 Afghans into the United States in the months following the Kabul evacuation, and well over 70,000 of them were resettled in American communities. In total, estimates suggest that roughly 200,000 Afghans have come to the United States through a combination of evacuation flights, humanitarian parole, refugee channels, and family visas since the year 2021. Most have settled in states such as Texas, California, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. The shooting has already triggered swift political and policy reactions in Washington. President Donald Trump, speaking during a Thanksgiving call with service members, announced Beckstrom's death and called the attack an act of evil. He and other Republican leaders have sharply criticized the vetting of Afghan evacuees, arguing that the program that allowed Lakhanwal to enter the country was, in their words, chaotic and insufficient. In response, federal immigration authorities have halted the processing of new immigration requests from Afghan nationals, while a review of security and vetting procedures is carried out. The Department of Homeland Security and the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services say they will conduct a broad reassessment of cases connected to Operation Allies Welcome and related programs. Advocacy groups for Afghan allies, meanwhile, stress that the vast majority of evacuees have complied with the law and warn against blaming an entire community for the actions of a single suspect. For now, investigators are focused on determining Lakhanwal's exact motive, reconstructing his movements before the attack, and analyzing electronic devices seized from his home. Prosecutors have already filed multiple felony charges and say additional counts, including potential terrorism and homicide charges, are likely following Beckstrom's death.